And now we're joined on Skype for a view on Brazil's economy. We have Sam Chester of Clarity Capital. Thank you as ever for being with us, Sam.
It's a pleasure.
Well, look, for years Brazil was lauded for its economic engine, but now with sinking commodity prices, we're also seeing softness in Brazil. Just how bad is the economic situation over there?
Well, I can tell you the environment the last few days in Rio de Janeiro, where I've been, I would say anxiety mixed with a dynamicism, which is really unique to Brazil and perhaps other economies in Latin America. Let's remember in the last few years, Brazil has led the Latin economies doing incredibly well. But as you said, the GDP last year dropped by almost 4%. In 2016 and 2017, IMF is expecting similar cuts in the economic growth rate here. Unemployment, a major problem, over 10%. Inflation, a major problem, over 10%. Investor flight is growing as well. Low global demand for commodities driven by the Chinese slowdown is not going to help matters. And then, of course, you have major political corruption issues. The largest gas company in Brazil is also facing major corruption issues. And the debt, the government's debt, is over 60% of its budget, of the GDP. These issues are not going to go away in the next year. They're not going to go away in the year after that. And therefore, Brazil is really going to not only be facing economic difficulties of its own, but is also going to be causing problems for all of Latin economies.
Right. As you mentioned, there are significant pressures now affecting that economy. Are there any positives that you can see?
So there's actually one sector, which is a major sector in Brazil, which has done very well in the last quarter and much of 2015, and that's agriculture. I mean, Brazil is the leading agriculture basin for much of Latin America, imports throughout North America and Europe as well. And although agriculture traditionally is seen as more of a past generation industry, an industry which is not receptive to the sort of disruptions that investors generally look for, there actually are areas. One example you could point to is in the commercial drone space, where Brazil companies are actually leading global demand for new technologies to really disrupt and bring new opportunities into the agricultural space. So Brazil, agriculturally, again, not an industry that people often get too excited about, but that is one area which is continuing to show growth into 2016.
Well, thanks as ever for your insight, Sam. Very much appreciate it. All the way from Brazil.